Yes. Thank you so much, Masters, for joining. I want to start with saying thank you, everyone, for joining the group and trying to learn the Set wisdom. I'm not an expert, I don't know anything. I'm here to learn with you all and know your perspective regarding each topic of Seth. We haven't even touched the Seth material itself. We are just learning through who attended the classes. From there, we are going to Seth. That is the path. I don't know how it is set. That's how it is. I'm just following my intuitions, how I'm getting it. And as the universe listens, two great masters are here with us to give the answers. Let's gain knowledge from them. And in this book, the first, um, how he dedicated this book to Jane Roberts. Jane Roberts is the one, the channeler who channels Seth. And in this book, first he dedicated this. I want to read that before we get into the session. I kept looking for a logic that would explain life. It never occurred to me that instead, love is the vital synthesis. So let's listen with love, not with mind. Let's listen with heart space. What they're trying to say here. Let's discuss on the topic, which is you create your own reality, but there is a victim and there is no victim too. Let's understand the topic. Here we have two great masters, Chandra Madoli sir and Sailej Saxena ji. I would like to invite Chandra sir. Please tell a little bit about yourself and what is your perspective regarding you create your own reality. I want to know that, sir.
At the outset, it is a fact that we create our reality. What do you mean by that? When we say we create our reality, all it means is that we take full responsibility of the progression of our life. Now, it's very easy under the guise of being ignorant to say, I am this because he said so. Right? So that brings us to two situations, which Seth also explains, but you can experience it if you sit and analyze. Did you let the other person control you? Did you forget that your objective was something else, but under pressure, you followed? For example, in the olden days, when we used to study, I was very fortunate that my father said, study what you want. But many parents during that time used to decide, my son will become a doctor, my son will become an actor, or my son will become so and so. And instead of following that path, we subscribe to that. If we are successful, you will say, because my father guided me, I have become so successful. What about the situation when it's on the contrary? We are not successful. Right? So I have experienced both sides of things because I grew up in the hostels. And I never understood. When I went to my father and said, Dad, the hostel opens tomorrow, but I don't want to go tomorrow. I want to go after 4 days. My father used to say, I mean, it's your life, you decide. So I've seen that side of things. And he also gave me the wisdom. He said, if you go today, this is the benefit. If you don't go today, this is the disadvantage. So he gave me both the perspectives. And having a full perspective, right? So why I am saying this is, here the wisdom that you get is you take in what is being told, but don't take it blindly. You apply your understanding to what has been said. Then you internalize that, you will get the benefit. Any book that you read, etc. So for reading Seth and understanding Seth, right, you need to read a lot of ancillary books, I would say. Because Seth is making a statement and we need to understand. Right? You create your reality. You sit and analyze your life till date. Right? You will find the leaves or lessons which align with that, which give you the pleasure, saying, I wanted to do this, I did this, and I am so happy. I did this under pressure, I am still happy. Or I did this under pressure and I am not happy. These three situations also summarize what he is talking of in the uh, audio portions that you have enunciated. Now, coming to my background, it's very simple. I'm probably the youngest meditator amongst you people. In the sense, I joined meditation in the year 2021. 2020, 2021. And I mean, it's been a fantastic journey since then. Just around that time, I managed to heal my diabetes to a large extent because I was on 100, close to 100 units of insulin a day. And today, I'm not on any insulin. Whenever I misbehave with my diet, that means you don't eat when you don't need it. You eat whenever you feel like, but you are not hungry. Then I have to resort to tablets. Else, I don't need anything. Just meditation will help. So, and I'm a voracious reader. My rate of reading is, but meditation has taught me, at least when they say Swadhyaya and Sajjana Sangati, right? I realized during one of the meditation experiences that what I am getting by reading a book is not more than 30%. Now, when I say 30%, I started looking at why 30%. So then I started trying to understand why 30%. So the maximum I can get is 30% is the conclusion I came to. And this has a direct linkage to photography. So if you take two frames and the variation in the content is less than 30%, both the frames, the mind understands it to be the same. This is known as the, I think, one third angle or something in the photography language. So I started thinking what I see either with my eyes or with the senses, right? Can't be more than 30%. And for me to say I understand a topic, I need 360 degrees. So if this is 30 degrees, right? 360 degrees, I need 12 individual perspectives to understand the topic. So taking that, I have at least following that practice. I've come to a stage where maybe if some people have some questions, I'm able to help them. That's me.
Thank you so much, sir. I would like to request Shaileshji to explain a little bit about yourself, your journey, and the perspective what you have towards you create your own reality.
Sure. Thank you. Um, so I am Shailesh Saxena. I live in Canada. During my professional life, I was a professional engineer, and now I'm retired, and I practice meditation as my primary activity through the day. I'm really very honored to be referred to as a great master here. Would like to humbly submit to all of you that I am not um, a very learned person. I would say that way. I have not read too many of those books of knowledge. I've definitely read a few, and I found that most of the deepest part of knowledge that I could read from the books was very similar. Um, my method of learning is a little bit different in that I like to, whenever it comes to deeper knowledge, I like to read it several times, and because of that, I don't read many books. I whichever book I read, then I read it several times. So when I first came across Seth Seth Wisdom Workshop was for the first time in 2021 when I came across it in PMC. I attended the workshop. That was my first workshop with PMC, and um, through the workshop, I was learning. Seth knowledge was new to me, and to be able to understand it, what I started doing was translating the Seth material document. There's a Seth material book, which is a fat book. Then there is a summary by somebody called, um, I forget the name, from South India. He picked up excerpts from various Seth books. He must be a very well-read person on Seth books. So he picked up important information from various books and created his own knowledge collection. So that was a document. It's a PDF available on the internet by when you type Seth material, that's what the PDF you will see. So that's the document I picked up for my reference because it's a beautiful summary. It contains the real gems of Seth knowledge in one place. And then I translated it. I sat down and started translating during the workshop itself. And from that translation, I got a real inner understanding of that knowledge, the depth of the knowledge. So that translation, I then distributed that translated material to all the people attending the workshop. So that's my little introduction to Seth knowledge. Um, in addition to that, of course, I've been attending several workshops with PMC, PSSM workshops, and learning a lot. Meditation. I started doing meditation in 2010. But that was not what we are doing now, not the Anapanasati. I started with what we what is known as transcendental meditation. That is a practice which was introduced in the West by um, again I forget.
Mahesh Yogi.
Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. He introduced the transcendental meditation in the West, um, and he happens to be also the guru of Sri Ravi Shankar, that you all know. He's a famous guru nowadays. So Maharishi Mahesh Yogi's transcendental meditation has been researched a lot in the West. It has been introduced in several hospitals as a part of therapy as well. So I read about it and I felt very attracted to it, and then I formally got inducted into. They have a system of induction, so I got inducted. I paid money and got inducted and started doing that practice. So since 2010, I practiced transcendental meditation till 2021 when I came across PMC. And then I picked up on Anapanasati. I did the Vipassana course twice, and so that's my meditation journey. And I just enjoy doing meditation by myself quite a lot. Then while we were doing the PMC work, the Seth workshop, we also started understanding the messages that Patriji used to give about teach meditation. So that sort of created a desire within me, and then I found a very cooperating master in the US who joined together with me, and we both started a WhatsApp group, which we run even now. So the latest thing we are doing there is the unified course in Hindi. So that's the group we started in 2021. Sorry, early 2022 we started the sessions there, and we've been learning all along this journey various aspects of our own spiritual development while sharing what we do with others. So as we learn, we share. So that's the reason I learned how to express myself, how to share what I have learned in simple terms. In that process, I learned that. Um, Basically, because of being an engineer by my head, uh, practicing engineering all through my life, I am sort of very logic based person in the head. So when I find a piece of knowledge, I like to understand it from logical perspective. And then the other thing that I like to do is not just hang on to that knowledge in my head, but try to implement it in my life. That is where the real learning comes. Because in the mind there is so much information. That information is there. You will logically say, yes, I understand, yes, I understand this and that. But what really makes sense when you apply it to your life? So to give you an example, in 2010 when I started doing meditation, I got really attracted to Osho's audios. I started listening to Osho quite. I have listened to him very widely. Quite a lot of Osho material has gone into this head. So when I was listening to Osho in those days, I also understood the significance of practically practicing what we learn. So the first thing that I learned, this was the biggest block in my head. I could never understand Gita by reading the books. And everybody would talk about Gita everywhere. Everybody is quoting Gita everywhere. And I used to think, well, am I so dumb? Can I not understand this? And then when I listened to Osho's audios, lectures on Gita, it became very clear to me, absolutely clear. And it is during that time I wanted to then experience the knowledge of Gita in my life. So I implemented that one single principle thing that I learned from Gita and I practiced it. And that thing, the single thing that I learned was, you do not focus on the results, do your process, do your work, do your karma, and let the universe take care of the results. They are not in your control. So I wanted to practice this thing. I actually practiced it at the time when this was in 2010 and 11. During that period, I was at a senior managerial position in the company, and I had too many responsibilities, a very busy day, very clockwork life in a corporate. So at that time, I decided to allow relinquishing control in my practical practice of my profession at that time. And the experience was amazing. Experience was very, very good. And that's how I practically implemented and learned, well, the life is not controlled by me. I can only do what I need to do, whatever I am guided to do, and allow the universe to provide the results. And it always worked for me. I never had any issues whatsoever by relinquishing control. So this is how I like to learn, by implementing my whatever learning I have. And in the process, I'm also learning how to share what I'm learning. So as an engineer, I like to simplify things. You will not find me using any complex language anywhere. My language is simple because that's how I understand. I can't understand complex. This is the reason why I could never understand Gita by reading the book, right? So even the Seth material is very difficult to understand if you just read it. It is abstract knowledge, right? So and the way it is expressed is quite um, difficult to comprehend. So what I did was I started translating, and that translation experience of the summarized quotes. This was basically quotes from various books of Seth. That made me think deeper about every little paragraph. And I did paragraph by paragraph. It took me almost 3 months to translate about 80 pages of that document. So that's how long it took. But it was a beautiful experience learning, understanding Seth, because Seth is the good thing about Seth knowledge is that it completely aligns with whatever I have understood from the Hindu mythological knowledge. Whatever I know from there, from Upanishads and from various um, Hindu mythological books, whatever I have learned, I find all of that present in Seth's book. So that knowledge still exists. So when Seth says you create your own reality, I read it just from the other end of it. I can never say you create your own reality. I will always say we create our own reality. My way of this will tell you how I am focused. I would always say I create my own reality. I take responsibility, like Chandra sir said just now. I take my responsibility, and understanding this one sentence is the key to understanding everything that Seth will say throughout his material. This is really the key. And I'm not sure if all of you have been going through the unified course, the one that is running right now in English as well. So if you have gone through unified knowledge, you will find concepts of Seth to be imbibed therein, but from a slightly different perspective. Seth is mostly um, in the mind, while in unified, we are going out of the mind into the heart. And these two things, as I have understood, are very, very different. So when you look at the same situations from a heart's perspective, you will experience the same thing differently. When you experience it from the mind, you will experience it differently. These are two things which we need to slowly start understanding the differences. And those who have been doing unified will very easily be able to catch on to this idea. So my perspective, I have been doing this unified only for the last 2 months. So I'm learning, and in these 2 months, I have shifted drastically away from the mind. So, and that's one more reason why my logic is kind of dying down now, becoming more accepting of both sides of the thing. Like just now, like Chandra sir said, you can think of something from this side, it will look you Patriji also said all the time that the spiritual understanding, spiritual knowledge is full of paradoxes. That's the meaning of this. That in one context, the same information can be right, the other context, it may not be right. Right? So the same thing, like the first chapter that we are reading, we are looking at the victim, the definition of a victim, and so on. These things can be seen from different perspectives. So, and people will have opinions on different perspectives differently. And we need to be just open to all points of view, understanding that this person is saying something from their perspective. They have understood something in a different way, and they are trying to tell that thing to me. Can I understand it that way as well? When we keep ourselves open to understanding that way, our knowledge really multiplies very rapidly. So, thank you so much for inviting me into this group. And I'm really happy to share whatever I have learned. I will be happy to share. I may not have all the answers, but what I know, I will say that and very honestly tell you if I don't know the answer. Thank you, dear masters.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Masters. Anybody has any questions for so far we read? You can please go ahead.
Hi,
And
Master. This is Neelu. I have a question, and can you all hear me? Sorry.
yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Master, for this time. I really appreciate you both taking out the time and coming and explaining and sharing your wisdom with us. I'm like just a beginner in terms of like reading Seth. I know we have just touched the tip of an iceberg, but when I was reading or hearing the audio of the book where it says victim, no victim, and they gave the example of table being hard versus just a source of energy, all particles and atoms over there. That is all fine. Uh, my point is like what I felt was like with the examples that they give that you create your own reality. The example Seth gave in this chapter, at least, it was a simple one, saying that a person who is not trusting, they have this feeling inside of them that they don't trust somebody, and then somebody comes and tries to steal their purse or wallet, something like that. I just felt that this is a very simple uh, example. If you like take a more complex example, as I had mentioned in my questions I wrote on my WhatsApp group chat also, like you do create your own reality. Little bit what I have understood from reading the karma and the free will concept also in different books and all, I feel it is more, is Seth trying to say that we create our own reality because uh, in my past life, like, I have also heard, I also love to attend some, like, not attend, like, just listen some or see some episodes from past life regression theories and all. And what I have seen in almost each and every one of the cases is that, like, today, if you are feeling that somebody is doing something wrong to you, or you in a bad situation, it is because in like your last birth or couple of past life birth, you did something wrong to that person, and that person is now coming back. That is, it's just a karma time payback. So does that means that when we are saying that you are creating your own reality, does it also imply that you must have done something bad somewhere At that point in time, you created this reality which you are experiencing today. Is that an like implication or what that meant also? What do you think in that term? Because today, say, just for example, if I say wallet picking up or stealing is a very simple example, but like today to think of myself like we in India or elsewhere, we see so many brutal rape cases and all. I don't think anybody in their right sense of mind, a girl can create something like that in their head that they would attract something so horrible. So to understand just that particular example, I think maybe in some past lives or past birth, she created this reality at that point in time that this soul must have done something. And now to, it's that karma time payback, or when they were soul planning for this life, they wanted to understand that they had given pain to somebody. So what is it to feel like? So at the time of soul planning, they are creating this reality now. So please share your wisdom and what were your thoughts on what does can we create our reality at a certain in certain other lives when we say like what we are experiencing today? Because I in my head I cannot understand for the lack of my wisdom or my understanding that today in this life somebody so innocent and so vulnerable can create something so brutal and create this kind of reality for themselves. It's just like just beyond my comprehension.
And sir, would you like to say something on that?
Once you finish, I will start because my answer will be very lengthy.
Right. So for Niluji, I'll try to make it slightly simpler for you to understand in a way that first thing is the mechanism of how we create our reality. Right. So anything that is physically happening anytime, it originates as a thought. Say, for example, today you want to cook your dinner. You want to cook a specific dish. It starts with a thought in your head, and ultimately it becomes a physical dish which gets served to the people. So, always thought is the origin of any physical manifestation. Absolutely always. So, we we have a thought, and then we take action and create the physical manifestation of that thought. This is a very simple connection between our thought and the final product. So, in our Hindu system, we also know that we have three stages: the physical realm, the astral realm, and the causal realm. These three states, these three realms where things happen. So causal means where the cause of everything starts, originates from the causal plane. That's where the idea comes from. Idea, it comes to astral plane where it is given a form, and from astral plane, when that form is created, it then gets manifested in physical terms, in our physical plane around us, that our five senses can perceive. So this is the direct connection between how things get manifested or created in our human experience. And all these three levels that I'm talking about are part of what we call as mind. The thing that we call as mind is not physical, it's an existence which has these three levels. And the existence that we call ourselves is beyond the mind as well. So we exist even beyond that. Now, when we talk of physical things around us, the our concern is always, right? Your question was, why would somebody think of having an experience of this brutal nature, right? So now, when we are in the astral plane, where we are planning this physical life, we have life between physical lives, right? So after we vacate a body, we go into the astral plane, review what we have, I mean, the karma theory, we review whatever karma we need to now take care of. Then we plan the next life, and we decide what we will do in that life to go through that experience of the karma, and then we come into this body and experience that. So naturally, what we are experiencing was planned by us only at a level, right? So the perspective when we are in the astral plane is very different from the perspective that you have when you are in the body. These two perspectives are very, very different. When we come to the physical body, we deliberately forget our existence in the astral plane, where we know the entire story. And the purpose for that is so that we can experience reality. Otherwise, if you know the story in advance, you won't enjoy the experience. If you know the story of a movie, you go and watch the movie, you won't really enjoy. You know what's going to come next. That's the reason why we come here and forget the story, come and then experience the story as if it's really happening. So now, why we would choose certain things is not because the way Seth explains karma is a bit different. Seth has very clearly explained that the way we understand karma, we think of it as a punishment for something we have done. That's not right. Karma is not punishment. Karma is our own
Hmm?
plan. So, in case of
I
karma,
am.
yeah, is there something you want to ask?
Sorry, somebody got unmute. I muted them. Please continue.
Okay. So, karma, when we are in the astral plane, when we are planning something, we plan for experience, and anything to be experienced in this physical world, everything has two. We are in duality, right? Everything has both sides of the coin. So, in order for an experience to be complete, we have to experience it from both sides. The side of the giver of the experience, the side of the receiver of the experience. Unless we have done both, we don't know the whole thing, the whole story. If you look at a coin, you've seen one face where the heads are there. You still don't know the whole coin unless you've seen the tails. Now, after seeing both of them also, you still cannot see the whole coin because we are in duality. But when you are in the astral plane, you can see that completely. You can understand that completely. So when we plan events in the physical world, we sometimes we have experiences which cannot be completed in one lifetime. So say for example, I want to experience a murder. So if I get murdered, I won't be able to experience doing a murder. So I plan it in my next life. But the way karma is presented to us, it is said that you are paying off the debt, you are being punished. That's not how Seth says. He puts it like it's your desire to experience it. You want to experience that whole thing completely. That's why he says you create your own responsibility, means you are responsible for everything in your life. Now, with this understanding that I want to have both sides of the experience, you will not find it difficult to understand why somebody would want to have that kind of an experience, right?
But sir, why would we have, like, at the level of soul planning, we have our soul guides and masters over there to, like, with whom we have a discussion, or that's how we plan some experiences for us in the life that we are going to experience later. Why would our soul guides allow us or not guide us, um, not to have such experience? Like, why would they, why would they are guides, right? So they should be guiding us to something positive.
Not
I
necessarily.
understand that experience is an experience. I get that. But, um, I don't know. I just think, like, if you have like
Yes,
somebody so divine, such big masters, and such, and we have seen that everybody says we have to be kind to others and kind to our own self too. That is also a concept. So why
yes, yes.
would those soul masters or soul guides not advise us? I know there is a free will, and we are the ones. If we say we are creating our own reality, but we should have some guidance from someone, at the time of soul planning also, that maybe that's not the right thing to do. Does that happen?
It does. It does happen. And please understand it this way, that what you are right now thinking from the mind of a body.
Mm-hmm.
For a body, an experience of this nature is bad. But for that soul, which is now planning the next life, what is the perspective of a soul? Understand what is spirituality. Spirituality is living in a body as a soul. And the perspective of a soul is not time bound. Soul is eternal. So it comes into a life, goes off, comes into another life, goes off. Its journey is continuous. For a soul, one lifetime is just one entertainment. But in that entertainment, you feel, oh, I am the body, I am going through torture, I am going through suffering. That is actually the experience you want. So when you think about it from a human mind, you will see that part of it. But when you think of it from yourself in that state where you are planning your next adventure, you won't see it as bad.
But there is definitely a part of our karma, from like our past lives, or that is part of it also, isn't it, or
Uh-huh.
not?
So with the new
Sir,
definition, yeah,
can I
yes, sure,
interject?
yes, please.
Right. A little bit of background
Hmm.
before we take this, right? When we all believe in man's search for meaning. We want to understand. See, if you have read Your Soul's Gift and Your Soul's Plan, right, what is the foundation and why? Let's take these two questions. Why life at all? First question. Right? So here comes the introduction of Thinking and Destiny by Percival. He says the universe is there. The universe has got two components. One is the nature side, which is consisting of elements, etc. And on the other side, you have intelligence. What is the difference between the two? Raw and finished good. When it comes to finished good here, we are talking about having a 360-degree experience of a quality, right? And we talk about progression, we talk about enlightenment. So that introduces two more scenarios. That introduces the supreme soul as we understand, right? Which is qualified by 35 divine qualities.
Mhm.
Okay, I can give you a link to Ramakrishna Mission's document on what are these divine qualities.
Sure,
But
sir. Thank you.
since most of you have gone through unified meditation almost
Mhm.
for 18 to 20 weeks, right? Or more. In fact,
Yes.
some of you are even coming towards the end. What are the qualities that you define God as?
Love, light.
Those are divine qualities. And just as Shailesh was saying, you live in duality, right? Assume one is light. That means you are able to visualize it. And what you are not able to visualize is, let us say, unmanifested. So the universe is equal to manifested plus unmanifested. Right? Now, these 35 divine qualities is the gap between your soul, which for whatever reason has taken birth. That also is explained in Thinking and Destiny, right? In the first chapter itself. And you are wanting to purify yourself and reach the 100% entitlement needs you to pass through these 35 stages of progression. Am I making sense so far?
Yes,
Right?
sir.
Now, these 35 are 35 individual lessons that you need to experience to reach, to first of all, to tread the path of enlightenment, right? What is enlightenment? Let's recall, how many of you have heard Bhaja Govindam,
Yes.
right? Is there a 2-minute lecture by Rajaji there? If you have not heard that, you should, right?
Okay.
Just say Bhaja Govindam introduction by Chakravarti Rajagopalacharya. What he says is, if you take information, you don't convert that information to wisdom, right? Such knowledge is useless tinsel. He uses exactly those words. When we say yourselves, it is always the soul. The identity is the soul, which has got Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar, God, generator, operator, destroyer. Right? You are the representative of all the three. So far, you are with me?
Yes.
Neeluji, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So there are 35 qualities that differentiate your graduation to the Supreme Soul and the student soul, which is one portion of that Supreme Soul.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now you need to graduate. So the game plan that we call life is a plan, which we call the pre-birth plan. Okay. The
Mm-hmm.
pre-birth plan is a movie that you write for yourself. How do you write this movie? I want to learn, let us say, karate. I don't know anything about karate, so I'm just saying that as an example. Now, the karate that I understand consists of some movements of hands, legs, etc. But when I look at the children, there is so much training behind it. Well, that's an experience, that's a wisdom. That's the art of how do I use my movement, how do I use my aura around me to get that force, and so on. There are so many entities, right? Each of them is part of the soul lesson. Okay? Let us say love. Love is of so many kinds. Love is that of a mother. Love is that of a father. Love is that of a sibling. Love is that of a partner. Love is that of a student. Love is that of a guru, and so on. There are so many dimensions to the word love. Would you accept?
Yes. Yes.
Right? Every dimension you need to experience. If I say you need 360-degree perspective. Are you with me?
Yes.
Now, this experience is part of your soul plan. You can't change. See, the complexity of these 35 divine virtues, 360 degrees, is such that, right, you cannot choose more than two, one or two in a lifetime. Okay, as you mature as a soul, as your wisdom increases, you may probably be able to take a third chapter into your soul plan.
So, sir, these
Okay.
35 divine qualities, sorry to interrupt, I'm sorry, but
Hmm.
these 35 divine qualities that we talk about that we can ascend to reach the supreme soul, um,
Hmm.
does that have to include like pain and is it part of your
Pain is
what
one
you're
of the
saying that
qualities. Pain is one of
okay,
the qualities. Unless you know pain, you will not know what is the absence of pain.
so you're
Right?
saying like each and every soul will have to at some point in like
Time go
whatever
through
their
that. Right?
every
And
soul.
yes, every soul, right? And
Wow.
okay, every soul has to go through that in its journey of enlightenment and unite, I should use the word union with the Supreme Soul. Okay. Now, there is an organization structure for it, which is beyond the scope of this class. Right? Now, so you have got those lessons, you have got to experience. What you have experienced becomes the wisdom that you are born with life after life. Okay? Where you have made mistakes becomes part of your cause for this life. An incomplete lesson is part of your karma. You have to complete the lesson. The theory is, the statement is simply, are you eligible or are you part of the ATKT system of an engineering study? Wherein you got backlog, you have to complete it. Right? Every time you take another chance, the complexity of that experience or that lesson you have to complete becomes more complex. Right? And now these 35, how do they work in a lifetime? Or how do you write your soul plan? Who is going to choose? You are going to choose. You are going to write your life story. How you want your life, including what are the circumstances when you are going to exit the life. Life is a project. Is the project related to the lesson that you want to learn? Okay? That lesson has got practical scenarios that you create. But then can you do it alone? Can you do it alone? Can you create an experience
No,
all
you
alone?
no, you have to have somebody like,
Thank you.
helping you with the
Right?
project.
Beautiful. So you have Amitabh Bachchan on one side and you have got the Mr. Gabbar Singh on the other side.
So just one thing, sir. So we are
Yeah,
saying that not necessarily that the thought we are talking about, which creates our reality, does not necessarily originate in this like existing human life that you are living today or right now. It is very well planned, like
obviously.
that thought has
Obviously.
originated before that.
Correct.
Because in my head, I was thinking, who would like think something like so brutal to attract something
Now
in
you
this
got the
lifetime?
answer, right?
Okay,
Now you
now
got the
now
answer
this
why.
helps. Yes, yes.
Right.
Now I
Now
understand. Okay, so it
let
originates
us carry this a
earlier.
little bit forward.
Sure.
Okay. in the process of writing the movie, the scenario, and the script, right? You will call Kirti and say, Kirti, I'm talking at the soul level now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You will call Kirti and say, Kirti, I want this experience. And Kirti will say, I want the other side of the experience. Right? You want to experience pain receiver. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Kirti will agree to play the role of pain giver. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting me? It is a
Yeah.
role. Right? Right? So both of you sign what is known as a soul contract. And both of you are responsible for giving each other that experience. Right? On this theory is the entire experiences wide relationships that you need to acquire.
Okay, one thing like it just like came to my head when you give this example, and I'm like completely 100% with you what you are saying. I completely agree. But when we are doing this soul contract between
Mhm.
and willingly we are doing that. Like,
Mhm.
you are saying like I will be the pain giver and this person will be the pain receiver. Then
Mhm.
why does it generate the karma that in this lifetime, and
Ah,
that's what we have like read and that in this lifetime you have given me the pain, so I have to give it back to you in some life, or we
no,
have seen in
not
this.
necessary. Not necessary. That
Really? Okay.
evaluation is done on the basis of your consciousness level of your soul, right? And the purpose of your plan. That is one of the SLA. That is the service level agreement that you have entered into. Why will it be that you have to give it back? No way. Are you
But
getting
sir,
me?
it's so, no, I completely
I mean,
hearing you,
you
but like,
paid for that. See, you
uh-huh.
wanted me to, you called me. You called me, requested me to give you that particular experience.
Yeah.
I have agreed to give you. Till I ask you, why will you give it back to me? I may get that experience from, let us say, Shailesh ji, or Kirti may get it from Shailesh ji.
But sir, I have like I'm no expert on this, but whatever some books I have read or whatever content I have seen or heard about past life regression, almost every single session, every single of that episode or what you call Atma ki Yatra, they say because in this life you have done somebody bad to that. That
No,
is
no,
what you are
that,
getting because you
that
can go
is
back
the
and look at that.
correct, Niluji. I will not dispute that, but that is the level of the conscience or consciousness of the person who wrote that book. Please understand, I may mislead you, right? So you have to use your above the shoulders to derive the lesson out of. See, they have what they have stated is part of their experience.
Mm-hmm.
That is what they have seen. There is also the bit that they have not yet seen, right? Emotions like revenge, attachments to a particular experience, right? A person who is very matured, if you hurt him, he will let it pass.
Yes.
But if a person who is living under the control of the entity that is known as the body, he will respond to with his Arshad Vargas. That is where revenge will act. Are you getting me? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So now let's go back to this story. Right? Now you have a checklist. This life, these are my project deliverables. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So these project deliverables, your soul guide and your instances of dreams, etc., in life, right? They are reminders by your soul guide wherever you are missing your life plan. Okay, wherever you are deviating. All these dreams or these coincidental experiences that you get, right? All those are the nature's way of reminding you of your plan that you wanted to achieve, which you forget under the Arshad Vargas while you are in this life, under the control of your ego. Okay. Now, coming to the execution, there are two components that you have. One is known as the destiny or the karmic or the causal balancing that you have to do. You have received it, you have to do it. You may not do it to the same person, but as far as the universe is concerned, you need to balance that energy. Are you with me?
Yes.
You may take it from the soul called Chandra and you may give it to Kirti. Now, what is happening as far as the universe is concerned? Is the
Imbalance.
wisdom in the universe, my experience, your experience, Kirti's experience? The experience is the same thing. There are two sides to it. Both of us, all three of us have got it. And we all, in small bits and pieces, all the souls together is the universe.
Yeah.
The progress of the universe is dependent on our progress. That is the rise in the level of consciousness. Got it? Now, when we are executing, you are empowered with a plan, but you are also that destiny where you have to do the balancing act is tantamounts to 50%. But the execution of all of these is under your empowered intellect that manifests as free will. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Free will can override. Free will is empowered to override even your destiny. But when you are being evaluated, the next time, who evaluates you? You evaluate yourself, right? Because you are consisting of God, right? That is further divided into knower, thinker, and doer, which is Brahma, knower, Vishnu, the administrator, that is the thinker, because he needs to think, and you have
Mahesh.
doer, which is Maheshwar, right? Maheshwar controls your body, the elements of progression. All the 35 divine virtues are controlled by Maheshwar. The others only give wisdom or the lack of it. Okay. This one, when we do thinking and destiny, I'm sure Kirti will get into that also one day. We will go into the depth of discussing that, right? But here you have got two components. One is the free will, and the other one is your destined plan of action, destined progression in this lifetime. And that's the project, right? You have written an experience. Circumstances will bring you to a stage where that plan that you have written is obsolete. So how do you control that obsolescence? By your free will. So free will is all powerful. But free will is again dependent on the wisdom that you have, your belief system, your traditions that you want to undertake, and so on.
So is it
Okay?
like a flow chart, sir? Like is it like a flow chart?
Exactly. I mean, no,
Like,
it is like binary. Either you have
okay.
derived the experience, you have not derived the experience.
And then both have like the predestined. So Say you say yes to something, there is a predefined set of
No, there is
actions
nothing
or set.
like predestined. There is a plan.
Okay. Yeah.
You have the free will to execute the plan, complete the lesson. Right? If you take Dr. Michael Newton's soul progression chart, yeah, Divya, just give me a minute so that my flow is completed. Right? If you look at it, you have got the entire universal progress, which is into these 35. You may have taken the role of, and the universe consists of 5 kingdoms. You got the mineral kingdom,
Mm-hmm.
you have got the
Plant,
plant kingdom, you have got the
animal.
animal kingdom, and all these contribute to the progress. Don't overlook it. And one is transformed from one stage to the other stage.
To the other stage. Yes.
Right? So you started with elements.
Mm-hmm.
The elements went through a number of combinations. Then, at one stage during the various reactions that was happening, protoplasma came up.
Mm-hmm.
That eventually evolved into the plant kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
The plant kingdom, then the reaction continued between these elements and the components that were there. That became protozoa. From
Mm-hmm.
protozoa, what did you get? Zoology.
Zoology.
From zoology became the animals. Right? And from the animals, you moved on to. So you still carry all those entities within you. What is the mineral kingdom in your body? Your bones structure itself is the mineral kingdom
Right.
within you.
Calcium. Right. Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, what is the plant kingdom in you? Your digestive system is evolved from your plant kingdom.
Okay.
Right? What is the animal kingdom in you? Your 6 passions, they are Shadvargas. They are the plant kingdom. Beyond that only starts your spiritual kingdom. So you have to transcend all those 3 stages, which are also part of the divine lessons that you have to undergo. Okay, now you understand the relationship?
Yes.
Right? And your soul decides. I took up all this as part of the lessons I wanted to complete this life. I'm sorry, I'm not in a position to complete. So I have decided to vacate. Or I have completed the objective of this life. So I have decided to vacate. We poor people, due to attachments and other things, we think that that person died what do you call an early death, or he has lived his complete life. That is our ignorance. Anyway, we will realize that as we progress. Right?
Yeah.
But you got the foundation part clear now?
Yes.
Right. Okay, that was the objective. That's why I said my answers are generally very lengthy. They will start with, I was born, from my conception to my delivery. Yeah.
No, this was very
Divyaji.
helpful. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll come to any additional questions. Let me take Divyaji's question.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah, namaste, sir. So my question
Namaste.
is this free will. So when the free will has that wisdom or attained in that spiritual journey, it can align with the soul plan. So the free will,
Yes.
or if it is ignorant, then I'm falling because if I'm ignorant, I'm not still gaining that knowledge and wisdom. So I'm not aligned with the soul plan and I'm falling into the karmic cycle of taking rebirths, attachments, Arshat Vargas. Is that so?
Yes. Yes. 100%.
Okay.
Not only
So the
that,
free will can
in
so once the free will has that attained that wisdom, it then aligns with the soul plan, and then we are like,
no,
as
no,
you said
free will
before.
is one power that you have. The decision to align or go astray is under the control of your body mind.
Oh, okay. So free will is different from mind.
Yeah, no. When I say body mind, see, you have what I call, right? We have heard about this, right? Panchakoshas. It's actually Saptakoshas.
Okay.
It is not, right? In this physical earth, we won't be able to realize beyond the five. So you have Annamaya Kosha, where the food, right,
Mm-hmm.
is the raw material that feeds it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then you have Pranamaya Kosha, where breath is feeding the existence, life energy.
Okay.
Then you have Manomaya Kosha, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Manomaya Kosha is your emotions, right?
Okay.
Then Manomaya. Then you have Vijnanamaya Kosha, which is your knowledge.
Mm.
Then you
Yeah.
have
Okay.
Anandamaya Kosha,
Mm. Mm.
right, which is your bliss. And beyond that is your Nirvanamaya Kosha, etc.
Mm.
Okay. Now,
Okay.
all these defines a Kirti, a Chandra, a Sailesh, and so on. Okay. That is why they
Okay.
say you live in multiple dimensions.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay. Now,
I'm
each
getting
one
it.
has got its own
Mm.
material for survival. Each of them have got a level of consciousness.
Level of consciousness.
Okay. Right? Each and life has got different stages. Life has got different stages
Yeah.
of progression where each of these elements gets fed.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Yes. Okay.
Right? You've got various responsibilities. Those are all part of your life plan, the outcomes. How you get that outcome is part of the empowerment of free will.
Okay.
Okay. That is how all of them are integrated. Now, your free will, how you are going to achieve your goal is up to you. What you don't complete, you need to come back to complete. What you have completed, you don't need to redo it. Right?
So
So
how do
what
I know
happens
what to
is,
complete or what not to complete is my soul plan. If I am mature, I mean, if I am attaining that
exactly,
knowledge, then
correct.
okay.
Okay.
Sorry to
Satish
interrupt.
ji.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Satish ji. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I have one question. Like, we will తెలుగులో చెప్తాను సార్. ఇప్పుడు
Go
మనం
ahead. Go ahead. Language is not a barrier.
ఎస్ ఇప్పుడు మనం ఇప్పుడు ఇందాక స్టార్టింగ్ లో మనం ఈ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ కావాలని పైలోకల్ని అనుకుని వస్తాం కదా సార్.
అవును.
సో ఇప్పుడు మనం భూలోకానికి వచ్చిన తర్వాత మనకి ఆ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ వద్దు. ఇప్పుడు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మర్డర్ ఇవి అనుకున్నాం కదా. సో ఆ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ అది నాకు తప్పని తెలిసింది. సో ఐ డోంట్ వాంట్ టు ఇంటర్ఫియర్ దట్ వన్. సో దాన్ని మనం ఎలాగా మార్చుకోవచ్చు ఏంటి?
Free will. Free will.
Yeah.
So, see, ఒకటి మీరు the question is, right? The question is, you come with a plan. While you are executing the plan, you get the wisdom which says what you have planned is wrong. So how do you overcome that? Maybe a murder or giving pain to someone, etc. Right? There are two things. First of all, your soul guides before you take such an event as a plan. English lo chepte ardham avutundi kadamma?
Yes, sir. You can carry on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So, first of all, your soul guides will advise you, mark my words, they will advise you that what you are taking as a plan is not correct. But you still say, I know, I want to develop the power of saying whether I can overcome such a thing. Okay, they will say, they will let you pass. Right? You come.
Okay.
Now you gain wisdom. Right? Your purpose is being achieved through the wisdom that you are acquiring. The objective of the entire soul plan itself is the wisdom, and you are able to apply that wisdom. Right? So if there was anything negative in it, you have used your free will and avoided that negative to take place. That's it, gone.
Okay.
Right? So free will is that way, that powerful. I can use my free will to project my greed, project my anger, or use my experience and say, this is damaging everything, so I will not go along these lines. Right? Both are possible, and that is the empowerment that you have. Right?
Sir,
There is
Can I
also an
interject?
Pardon? Yeah, ma'am.
Just like something like when you said that, like, the free will, when we gain the wisdom, and with this free will, we choose not to do the bad or negative action that we had planned at the soul level. So, but is that the case that when you say that you had made a soul contract, so with free will, you overcame that thing and you did not do that action, complete that action in this life? Is it like our soul guide or something would carry that to our next life and say, oh, you
No,
did
you
not
will
complete
carry
this?
it. You will carry it. All these are energies and patterns. Please remember that. When we hear the word Akashic record, that is a record of all our patterns. Patterns of thought, completed. Patterns of experiences, completed. Patterns of thoughts, which have seen the manifestation, because the thought is actually a manifestation that starts with the word desire. Desire. Desire is the one that triggers. So, Annamaya Kosha will raise a request of its desire. Okay? That in the energy form goes to the astral plane. What is the role of the astral plane? Astral plane takes the request. I mean, I call that Mr. Narad because the power of the desire tilts him towards triggering the mind. Right? He triggers the mind to act. Otherwise, the mind will say no. So immediately he will communicate the same thing. So weight of each of these is Mr. Astral. Right? So your, what do you call, the breath itself is the carrier of this astral wisdom. Okay. And then the mind, the control, the wisdom, the level of ignorance or the lack of it, etc., will progress. Yeah.
So
Yes, ma'am.
so sir,
Yeah.
so sir,
Yeah. Go ahead.
if with the free will we have avoided that negative action in this life, you're saying that because it was part of our soul contract, we will carry it like whoever the soul is will carry it to the next life, and they will have to complete that negative action, but again they will
Yeah.
again have a free will
No, it
that life.
sits in the universe as a potential. Whoever connects to that, it will go to them.
Okay, so it's not like necessarily on you or the soul.
No, as far
It's
as your lessons are complete, your objective is over, your lesson learning is over, that's over as far as you are concerned. I will show you a small diagram I had done. Kirti, do I have permission to share?
I'll make you co-host, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, which diagram are you seeing? Are you seeing the one second? Which one did I end up sharing?
Preface and
One second.
introduction. Something.
Yeah, okay. Then that's the right one. One sec, why did this come? Okay. Right? Okay. Right. So, what does this book on your soul's plan and soul's gift actually give us inputs? We are a progressing entity called multiple souls. Okay? Right? And every lesson is like a spiritual healing that we have to undergo. So when something is incomplete or something is yet to be done, there are two components. In this lifetime, whatever we have not completed is part of the karma, the cosmic debt and balance, right? And whatever are the new lessons that you want to learn, they are also party to this progression. I will send this chart for you people to follow. Okay. But whatever I spoke so far is summarized in this diagram. It will help you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Well, how we will know that this will be the experience I want to take before, and అంటే మనం ఈ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఇప్పుడు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఎవరు నన్ను మర్డర్ చేస్తారు లేకపోతే ఏదో మర్డర్ చేయబోతున్నాం అనేది ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఫ్యూచర్ లో జరగబోతుంది కదా సార్. దెన్ వి కేమ్ టు
అవును.
నో దట్ అది తప్పని మనం తెలుసుకున్నాము. సో కానీ అది ఫ్యూచర్ లో జరగబోతుంది అనేది మనకి ఎలా తెలుస్తుంది? అంటే దాన్ని
అది
అది
మీ
వద్దనుకోవడానికి ఆ టైం.
see, that is the level of your consciousness. Now, she is asking, how will I know what I am going to do is wrong or right? Okay. So here, there is one more piece that you people need to understand, right? When we leave this world, we have come here with a plan. We are leaving this world. Okay. But then there are unfinished lessons at the time of our leaving. Okay. We have got unfinished lessons when we are leaving this world, which are part of the energy patterns we had created before we came. Then you have made mistakes in this life. That is also sitting as energy patterns. And what you have completed is also energy patterns. Right? So from the physical existence, when the body leaves this earth, first the physical components get destroyed. Then it goes into your astral part. All these as patterns are assigned back to the astral domain. After some time, the astral body also perishes. Then they are transmitted to the manomaya kosha, your emotional body. All these as patterns become your causal body. Okay. So you have come from the physical body to the astral body to the mental body, and from the mental body you are now in the causal body. Causal body also is got the name karmic sharir. The astral is karmic, desire. Okay. And the causal body is known as the karmic sharir, the one where karma gets evaluated, is differentiated into two components. Those that have contributed to your soul growth, those that are the mistakes which have to be repeated. Are you getting me? Right? What you have to repeat is the karma broken down into three categories. Sanchita, prarabdha. Sanchita is your past. Whatever you have not completed is your sanchita karma. Then you have the prarabdha karma, which is the current life. And then you have one more part to the karma, which is agami. So You are laying the foundation for tomorrow's building to come up now. Right? So this is how these three things define your next plan of life. So you will again search, right, where you have met your partners who are going to, I would use the word partners in crime for this life to happen, right? They all together help us complete the progression. Is that clear? Sorry. All this is the foundation for understanding any spiritual book.
Okay.
So,
Thank
Silas
you.
sir, would you agree? Yeah. So, Kirti, what is the next question? Do you want to summarize the lesson?
Sorry, sir. It was just a little bit. I had to get up.
No, that's okay. No,
I-
but I think we have comprehensively given the foundation for understanding even Seth.
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. These are really very basic things. And what is important for all of us to understand is there is, because of our social inputs that we have had right from our childhood, we receive gyan, the knowledge, but also a lot of misknowledge, right? Because of ignorance of people. But they are so, certain about what they are saying, even though they don't know. So we hear all that from our childhood as we are growing up. So there is a lot of incorrect knowledge that we acquire. So
There's a lot of information overload, probably. That's the
yes,
word that you want.
it's not just the overload. A lot of people, just out of their conviction, they say things which are not correct, right?
Yeah.
So what is happening is that today, with what the way you have explained, it's a beautiful foundation to understand the correct knowledge. What is the right information that we all have witnessed at some point in time in our life, but haven't really registered, right? So what you
Correct.
have
Correct.
clarified is the basis, foundation.
अब इतना हो जाए कि रोटी आपको कोई खिला रहा है, अब वो भी नहीं कर रहा है कि गरम
So
Yeah.
that's the part that I feel very good for. This is the reason. This was primarily the reason why I requested Kirti to have a session instead of the chat. Chat is
No,
always.
I was writing the same thing that I spoke.
Yeah.
But then I realized that it was too heavy,
Yes, yes.
right? It
And
became a
there's
Jiddu Krishnamurti in our life.
the what will happen, through the chat. Why I am a little bit concerned about the chat thing is because you will try to express the right information in brief, and because of its brevity, people may misunderstand some things. Like half the information is missed, right? So I don't want people to be confused about these very fundamental things, very, very
Correct.
important things, right? So today, what you have explained is the foundation of our existence in spiritual life.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I mean, it took me almost 40 books to come there. Well, no book was giving me more than 1 page of information. You read 300 pages and you get 1 page of information.
Yes.
That's why I sat and struggled to create a template using various tools that I used during my work life. That's
Yeah,
actually a concept map from Mind Manager.
yeah, that's
Okay,
why
okay,
the
very
map looked
nice.
amazing. It was like, wow, I need a cheat code like that.
Yeah. But
Now, most of my books I converted to that. That only, like he was saying, I write down. I do this to look at the linkage of various concepts, and there is a central theme. So, whichever book I read just contributes a little bit more.
exactly, yes,
Actually,
yeah.
that's such a great
But
idea.
are these the spiritual
Adding the
tablets
date
that you?
to your map. That's such a great
Now,
idea.
spiritual tablets is one component of it.
Okay, yeah, because I read, like, heard in PMC programs that I watched that, like, the spiritual tablets have also been created and all that. So I was just wondering if that is the part of it.
No, no. Some wisdom from there also will be there. Some pages from there would have become part of this.
One thing I would like to have a little more understanding, because I am also now learning so much from this session today. So, about free will. Free will is a very important concept for us to understand, and I have some understanding of free will, and I want to make sure that I understand it correctly. Okay, so I will ask you this thing. You did mention something in your when we started talking about it, that free will accumulates the wisdom from our experiences accumulated over several lifetimes, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
our free will is guided from behind by that wisdom, isn't it?
Yes. But then, who is guiding you? You are a portion of your complete soul.
Yes. Yes.
Your soul wisdom is guiding you.
Correct. Right.
So
I
he is the one. It is like a university in
correct.
which dreams is one path,
Hmm.
coincidences is another, minor jerks to your progression is the third one. Then deviation from your purpose of life,
Hmm.
thanks to Dr. GK,
Hmm.
Dr. Gopal Krishna, the founder of Spiritual Tablets,
Hmm.
is a deviation of your life.
Hmm.
That is deviation from the purpose of your life.
Hmm.
Manifests as diseases in this life.
Hmm.
So the first level of manifestation, when the deviation is about 20%,
Hmm.
right, you will be impacted by skin. So that is the early warning,
Hmm.
right? So that indicates that you are going astray in your life. Look at what, right? What is life for? Life is for you to be happy, for you to take care of yourself, that is certain duties and certain services, because you have to contribute to the society where you're living, right? That in a nutshell is your life.
Hmm.
So deviations you get to know, right? So what is it that empowers you or lets you act in line with the plan or this one? So who is the driver? Your soul.
Correct. Yes.
The various bodies that we have, the 7 bodies that I was talking about, are the vehicles which deliver the experience that you have chosen,
Yes. Correct.
right? Free will one way happens to be your soul itself, but the pity is when the soul that is inside the body has also got to envision 2 scenarios. One, either the body controls it or it controls the body,
Hmm. Correct. Yeah.
right? Hmm.
Yeah. Hmm.
Now I'm reading some books on medicine. Now I'm gaining to understand that the free will is your conscious mind.
Okay.
Okay. That means your voluntary nervous system, not your involuntary,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Free will is the conscious level. Based on the level of your consciousness, you will execute,
Hmm. Right.
right?
Yeah.
Now, through this Swadhyaya, Sajjana Sangatya, what are we doing? We are increasing the level of consciousness because we are fundamentally leveraging the objective behind man's search for meaning,
Hmm. Yes.
right? हमें समझना है.
Yes.
I
Yes.
want to understand,
Yes.
right? So we are exploiting that inbuilt characteristic
Hmm.
to apply the free will, the empowerment to execute, right? So free will is that power that we are having.
Yes. So what I'm saying is my free will is constantly getting, it's evolving as my
It's evolved.
consciousness is evolving, right? So
Correct.
my level of consciousness is proportional to the level of my free will's,
Exactly.
right?
So this one, actually, if you listen to Bob Proctor,
Mm.
the
Yes,
Canadian,
yes, yeah.
who recently left his body,
I am
he
his
draws a
student.
beautiful diagram. He
Yes.
has a sketch diagram that he uses. I mean, he's the one who came up with that sketchman diagrams, right?
Yes, yes,
Hmm?
yes.
Let me just share that. See how beautifully he explains the same thing that we struggled to understand. Okay, right? So you're seeing this, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Now let us take this particular diagram. Okay. Oh, no, yaar, why all this? I don't need all that. Okay. Right. So look at our senses. Right. This is the desire and thoughts. This is conscious mind.
Yes.
Right. This line that is in between is your the analytical layer in the brain. Right. And once the analytical layer says, okay, I accept, like I may pick up the phone and say, Kirti, what the hell? What have you done? Right now, Kirti will start wondering, what have I done? Why did Chandra make such a statement? Or she is way above, right? What the hell have I done? So she'll say, oh, he's using it as as an example while explaining this concept. Done. That's over, right? Now, and these thoughts, the causes, all those energies that go in through our seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, etc., right? They will get into the subconscious mind,
Yes.
right? Subconscious mind is where my belief system has been punctured, right? I have let it pass through because my belief system is in agreement with that. When I say punctured, it's in agreement. Now you get to execute. But there is one portion in the free will which is connected to conscience, right? That is also sitting here in the layer. I approve the action, I don't approve the action. Because once it has gone into the emotional body, right, it only understands one thing. Ye vibrate hua, chalo maar do. Right? This is not vibrating, so I have not received the approval.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And then that drives the vibration of the body, the execution.
Yes.
Okay? So that vibration causes the outcomes.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? The experience of this entire stuff is the wisdom.
Yes.
So now I was talking about the causal body, causal layer. That is where there is a separation of what has become wisdom, so that your next life comes back with that empowerment.
Correct.
And what mistakes you have learned, what you have to repeat, becomes the inputs for the next life plan.
Correct. Agreed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So your free will is nothing but this layer. The layer,
Yes.
this creative, or I would call it the analytical layer,
Yes.
which is, in another word, I mean, in the spiritual side, we will say the same thing is the conscience or consciousness, right? Or the degree to which you are conscious.
Right.
And that will immediately take us to Dr. David Hawkins' books. the map of consciousness.
Yes. Yeah. Correct.
It's very interesting. As you get onto this path of learning, the way Mother Nature helps us, right? All the books that I have read are books I have got in my dreams.
Wow. So wonderful.
Right? Now, dream is one. Now, suddenly I am working on some topic, somebody will send me a message. Sir, can you explain this? That's a universal message to us saying you need to read this to go further. So the whole thing is an intricate, right? It's an intricate
Web. It's a web.
It's an intricate web. It's an intricate set of action, depending upon where this fellow stands,
Yes.
right? You will let it go in or you will not let it go in. To start with, everything is under the control of the body-mind.
Yes.
It's like there is fire burning, let me put my finger and see what happens. You will get one lesson. That lesson has become wisdom. Next time you will not go near. You will say, oh, fire, you will burn, so let me stay away.
Yes.
That's the way the entire learning process keeps happening.
Yes. I did a course with Bob Proctor about 6-7 years ago, and in that course, this diagram, when he explained that diagram, that line that we are calling as the free will, he made it dashed line. It was not a full solid line.
Because that keeps expanding, it keeps diminishing, and so on. Yes.
Yes, and he said that's more like it acts more like a filter.
Yes.
It keeps stuff, it only passes on what is necessary to the emotional part of us.
Correct.
To generate the energy that is necessary for actions to happen later on. Right. So
yes.
Some time ago somebody was talking about the free will changing our soul's plan. That in that connection, we have to also feel comfortable about it, because our free will also growing. It is growing with our experiences. So
Yes.
when we are executing in this lifetime, we are executing our soul's plan. As the plan is being executed, our free will, which is wise enough to see through problems, it may guide us into doing something different from the plan to create an added value, maybe. Right?
Yes.
So our free will, when it pushes us to change the plan, we shouldn't be worried about it. That's what I want.
We shouldn't, because see, the free will is controlled by your degree of your ignorance or the lack of it.
Exactly. Yes.
Right? The moment, like some book I was reading, he says, if you think you are making mistake, that means you are letting your body control you.
Yes.
Right? You know what is to be done, but you are not acting. Yeah.
But if we don't make a mistake, how will we learn? You just said that I put my finger in the fire and I learned.
Correct. You learned, but if you repeat, then what happens? Only then you will know that it's a mistake, right?
But what if you didn't feel that you learned enough? You did it again.
So that is where, when Patriji ji said, Swadhyaya, Sajjana Sangatya are two very, very important things. And the third one is meditation. The combination of that is going to anyway increase this bar.
Yeah.
This line that we see here, that will raise, right?
Yes.
And it is a matter that you can't expect that today I started, so tomorrow I will be there.
No,
It is a gradual progression, Yeah.
No, what I was trying
Yeah.
to ask was that when we make a mistake, we feel very bad, very emotional, very angry. And I think
That is because your body is controlling you.
yes.
Your ego is controlling you. Suppose you asked yourself, I made a mistake. What did I learn? What did I learn from it?
What did I learn from it?
Then you are adding to your level of consciousness, right?
Okay.
But when you are when you are letting out the emotion of negativity, etc., what are you doing? Right? You are pulling down the other components, because while we think we are the body, if you read Biology of Belief, Bruce Lipton very clearly says, you are nothing but 50 to 80 trillion cells working as a community. The community has got various components. Each component is a set of the community of cells.
Okay.
Right? So, we are nothing but that community of cells. Right? But under the guise of the body, we look at ourselves as the hand, the foot, the leg, or the complete image. All those are cells. Right? So, that what is putting the cells together? Our intellect, our wisdom, right? Our beliefs. You may call them personality, you may call them characters, you may call them by various words. Each discipline will say differently. The fellow who is very much into the spiritual side, he will say your chakras. Right? Yeah. Satish, your hand has been.
I
You
have
are
one
mute.
question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sir, for example, right now, for example, ఇప్పుడు ప్రజెంట్ నేను చదువుతున్నాను అనుకోండి సార్. ఇప్పుడు నాకు ఒక కంపెనీ అనేది వస్తుంది. అంటే నేను ఒక కంపెనీలో జాయిన్ అవ్వాలని పైలోకల్ని అనుకోని వచ్చాను ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్. బట్ ఐ వాంట్ టు ఐ వాంట్ పర్టిక్యులర్ కంపెనీ లైక్ దిస్ ఓన్లీ. అంటే డిజైర్ కాకుండా ఇప్పుడు నాకు కొత్తగా ఈ కంపెనీ అయితే నాకు బెస్ట్‌గా సూట్ అవుతుంది. సో ఇది కరెక్ట్ అంటారా? రాంగ్ అంటారా? అంటే దీన్ని మనం ఎలాగా ఎక్స్‌ప్లోర్ చేయొచ్చు?
See, when you take a life, you don't say I want IBM or I want Microsoft, etc. No. I want an environment which will give me this experience. Okay. Based on your free will or your desire, which is by the body. Right? You are giving more importance to the parameters of existence on this earth. What is that? Money, respect for the individual, and a few of these parameters you put together. You take a conclusion and build your desire, saying Microsoft will give me this, or a Google will give me this, or a Tom, Dick, and Harry will give me that. Right? You have to see what is happening now. Whereas you wanted the experience of a kind which has got 10 different deliverables, you have converted it to an entity. That means you have transformed your experience into something which can only be experienced by the body, not the mind. Right? So, spiritually speaking, that is not right. But desiring to get a job which can pay you a good salary, give you all the comforts of life, that is not wrong. But in that, you don't become too much materialistic is the objective, because that is not the purpose of life, which we forget when we are in the work. I remember, see, one of the very strong personality who tried to influence me in the early 90s was a close friend of mine, Mr. D.L.N. Shastri, who is no more. He is the one who has participated in progression of PSSM in Delhi and the North. Right? He is a very, very close friend of mine. Now, he has been asking me to come, and I used to tell him. I was working in UK, so I used to tell him, Shastri, I used to call him just DLN. So, DLN, I'm not coming. I'm very happy where I am. I'm making a lot of money, right? Okay, a day will come when you will be with us. That's what he said. Right? Who knew 20 years after that sentence, I will be sitting here. So, when we desire something, right, it may happen, it may not happen. You may give your excuses, but if it is part of your progression, even if you try to avoid it, you will end up being there.
I would like to add a little bit to this, is that our bigger experience that we have planned requires us some amount of preparation in the form of body. And that
Yes.
preparedness for going through that big experience, that preparedness happens through several small experiences. So if you have a desire to, for example, join a specific company, right? So that desire is kind of pushing you in a direction where you will get some experience which will take you further, which will make you ready for something bigger.
Yeah.
Okay? So just take it as part of the flow of life. And all this is your wisdom guiding you. Your desires, your thoughts are coming from a source. Right? Yeah.
Within.
Yes. And that source is driving you in a direction. Just go with the flow. Accept it. Yes, fine. Let me go. Let me go through it. Right? Several times you will. I can tell you an example of my younger days. I used to work for BHEL in India, in Bangalore. So there, I was a very, I would say, fast moving person there in the company, growing very well as such, right? So my boss decided to disallow me from an opportunity which was coming up. I was very upset and angry. I said, this is such a beautiful experience that I will get, and he is not letting me go. Then later on, 3 years later, I found that that thing actually got finally dumped. And I was rescued. At that moment, I was not happy. But later on, I said, well, thank you for
Thank
this
you.
beautiful thing you did to me by stopping my going into that job, right? See, this is how things. So your final guidance is coming from somewhere. Just be, I would say, be very
Open.
trusting. Be trusting and open. Yeah, trust what is coming and go with the flow.
Sir, in this weekend means there is also like one concept like Sankalpa, that one. So we used to keep
Sankalpa
the
is intent.
Hmm.
Sankalpa is intent. That is the root cause of your desire.
desires. Yes.
That's it.
Yes. Hmm.
So, Kirti, I don't know if your objective is met or not,
Oh, definitely,
but
sir.
you made me revise. No, you made me revise all my concepts.
That's the beauty of Sajjana Sangatya.
I agree. I agree.
Thank you so much, sir. So much
And you can
knowledge.
share the summary sheet of whatever your lecture was. I put it down as a map,
Right.
which can be utilized.
Sure, sir. Definitely. I'll share. We're taking away a
And
lot of knowledge.
Thank you so
and
much, sir.
anything. Yeah.
Beautiful,
No, welcome.
wonderful.
Welcome. So this HTML files that I shared, don't try to open it on your phone and come back to me saying, sir, this is not working.
Oh,
It
you
needs
shared
a web
something.
browser.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to share it.
Okay.
Kirti will send it to you. That will need a browser. It can be your Mac or your laptop, right? I don't know about iPad, but it should work, I presume, right? So try different browsers if you are not able to open it. The way it will start is, let me just show it to you before we end up the session. Yeah. So the PDF will, one sec. Are you able to see this?
Yes, sir.
Right? So you will get the opportunity to, let me just, one sec. No. This one was, one sec. This is Seth, right? Yeah. Right. Okay. It will look like this. It will open up the way you are seeing it on the screen here, right? Okay. Let me just close all of these. So this is how you can get into the, right? So this entire book has got how does the combination of your conscience or your free will, right, your belief system, how they work. From the book itself, I have taken and created this diagram. Okay, so you will be using it, but basically if somebody is using a mind manager, then they have got a different way. I can share the MMAP file also. So here, when you go into this walkthrough mode, right? So what is he saying? Beliefs and telepathic communication are always in play. We may think that I never asked for it, but we don't know what my habit has asked for something.
Yes.
Right? I never asked for it, but we don't know what's happening inside. What communication is going from the various components and cavities of the body. Right? So you can click each item and then keep progressing. So what is that? Subconscious or... So I've just put that thoughts together so that it can trigger your reading progress. Right? It will help you. Okay. So this also I will share, Kirti. I don't know if I have shared it already.
You shared the complete flow chart to me, sir. So if
Yeah,
if you can,
that is a PDF, right? I didn't share.
you shared an image,
Yeah, I shared an image that was
right?
in PDF.
Mhm.
Now I am sharing.
Okay, this file itself. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll forward it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
brings me to an end of whatever I wanted to speak for.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Chandra sir and Shailesh ji. It's really an enlightening session. I think I collected a lot into my wisdom today through this session. And there's a lot more to learn, but the base is solid now. From here, we can understand even more what Seth is actually saying rather than just learning and listening the examples and creating all our own things. Thank you so much, sir. Anybody has anything to
I
say?
need
Yes,
to
sir.
thank you people for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Such a great experience.
Thank you.
It's almost 4 years since I read any of the Seth material.
Yeah. My
Yes, Shailesh ji.
message for this evening for everybody is that please, if you have any thoughts about karma as a punishment, please remove those thoughts.
Exactly.
Karma is not a punishment because you are the judge and you will not punish yourself, right? You are responsible for everything being created in your life, not only this life, all your lives. So, because you are the judge, you will not punish yourself. You are actually deciding intelligently what am I supposed to go through. So, karma is not a negative thing. We have to always remember this, right? It's just, it's, think of it like an accountant keeping track of my experiences. And is also constantly telling me, well, this is what you have left. Here is a gap, here is a gap, here is a gap. Do this, do this, do this. We grow only when we face challenges. We never grow when we are happy, right? So Only in the face of challenge do we come up with strength and grow. This is the very essence of life. Life is always made by, we incorporate challenges in our life plan for growth, for evolution. So challenges are not bad, they are our friends. And those who bring challenges are also our best, I would say, well-wishers for us. So
Yeah.
that's the shift in our thinking we have to bring.
Or simply put, remember that even that is under the control of your free will.
Absolutely, yes.
So karma is controlled by your free will.
Yes, without free will, there is the whole philosophy will collapse.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. This teaches me
So
how
thank you,
smart
Kim.
it is, how smartly planned
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Amazing. Wow. I'm so excited for this journey. I'm glad.
I know.
I think this is how I plan to have it all.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I can say like this also started from a thought. I think I was the one who was saying I wanted to attend that Seth's session and I was not able to. So universe has
So
planned
you
all
have
this thing that
manifested. Let us consider that you have manifested it in English.
yes. Thank you so much. Thank
Yeah,
you,
you,
thank you so
thank
much.
you. Your message did something inside me. I wasn't
Oh, so
like,
sweet.
I need some, like, oh, she's asking why she's not getting. I was like that.
Thank you
Ah,
so much. I really, really, really
amazing.
appreciate gratitude.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I have so much
No,
love for
thank you
you
very
both,
much.
sir. Both of you. I have so much love for you. Thank you for this amazing wisdom. Looking forward for more, learning more, gaining more of this knowledge. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Both
Thank you, sir.
gave a lot of wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Chandra sir.
much.
You have a wonderful day, and
Thank you.
thank
Thank
you
you.
all the participants. Have a wonderful night.
Yes.
Yeah. Sleep over this.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Okay, I'll end this session now. Thank you so much.
Please.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you.